This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Welcome back to Inside the Wolf's Den with your hosts, Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. How are you, Shawn?
Great. Fabulous. How are you?
If I can be honest, it's actually been a pretty hectic week.
Yeah. How'd you do in your negotiations?
Oh, no. I lost on a negotiation, which is probably why I'm upset right now. No, I'm just joking. But, so I volunteered, to be we went to a new platform for emergencies and after hours. And so I volunteered to take that on because whenever we have a new platform, I want to see how it works first before we roll it out to our team, right? Mm-hmm. And man, I've been hearing tenants bitch all week.
It's a PG-13. Relax.
I just have to take a couple of deep breaths, but
now you know,
all is good.
Now you know what the rest of the team goes through.
Absolutely, 100%.
And the life of a property manager.
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
So today we're going to be talking about maximizing time and skill growth through strategies such as outsourcing, which I love. I always say that I have the skill set of delegation, and efficient habits.
So where this is all coming from is we just got back from a convention, and I think you and I get asked a lot, right, about how do we
do it all?
Yeah, how do we do it all? How do you guys ever sleep? Do you how do you get it all done? And I think in social media can be a little misleading, but because it's not. I think people think we're all over all the time, but it's not always. It's just posts, and it's not necessarily live, or and you have we have people. You have. And we're going to talk about that, but you have systems and processes for posting, right? So it's not always you doing all of it.
Absolutely, yeah. So oftentimes when I get asked, like, "Oh, you were just here or there," I'm like, "Really? Was I? Not really, but
yeah,
it appears that way. So obviously something's working."
Yeah, but really, because I think at the height, we had 5 businesses going, young family, marriage, and it was a lot to balance, right? And in all reality, we probably maxed ourselves out, and we were probably doing too much.
Yes.
Since then, we've sold the plumbing company. We have stopped building, and so a lot of the acquisitions and building and all that have stopped. So we're pretty much down to our property management company and our virtual assistant business, True Work Logistics. So we're down to really just 2 businesses that we run on a day-to-day, and we still have the kids, haven't got rid of them yet, and we still have a marriage. So it's still.
And Shawn occasionally likes to coach a basketball team and a soccer team, and so those come and go.
Yeah, and we have a dog, so we can't get too.
Yeah, you can't forget my puppy.
But to how we manage it and and I think there's some efficiencies that we've done in our lives to help manage all that. And we wanted to provide some real practical resources on and as we go through this, it's not, don't try to do it all at one time, pick one at a time and go from there. But these are things that have helped us. And so we just wanted to share that with you, and hopefully it'll add some value. Correct?
Yeah, and just to point out, we didn't do all of this all at once, right? So to your point is, we started with one, and then we kind of built from there, right? Over time, and just kept adding things that, okay, there's a need here. How do we fix this?
Correct. And so I think anybody can do this, and you can. What we're going to talk about is how you can outsource or maximize your time or gain time back, because time is money, and money is time. So it goes back and forth. But and you can do all this to free up time. Now, I do want to say, though, that if you do these things and then just be lazy, some of it, sometimes you just need rest. But if you don't do anything with that extra time you gain, then you're probably just spending more money and just making your life more easier, I guess is the right way to say it. Is that right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when we get into this, and we'll talk about the end, you got to maximize this time you're going to gain. So if you're going to invest more money, because maybe you're not doing these things because you're trying to save money, we're recommending doing these and then gaining time back that you are more efficient with that time and maximize the return on that time.
Right. Absolutely. And I will say too, because I think that for a lot of women here that are listening to this show, like naturally we think, oh, we want to do all these things, right? We want to cook, we want to clean, we want to do the grocery shopping because that's what we've done it forever. And so for me personally, I felt bad doing a lot, like handing that off, because that's one of the things as a woman that I wanted to do for you, right? So I will say that you don't have to feel bad, like to outsource it out, because there's other, like you said, there's other things that you can do with your time.
You
maybe planning a date night, or
you get enjoyment going to the store. It's awful.
I used to absolutely. Actually, when the kids were younger, I loved to go to the store just so I can get a few hours. So there was any.
You get peace, and I get stressed
screaming.
out. I get stressed out. I can't find anything. People in my way. People running to my shopping cart, and then I see food. I usually go hungry, and then so I'm just like throwing things I don't need. It's awful.
It's therapeutic.
So, but what we're doing is discussing the opportunity cost. So, what could you do to save time? And then invest that time that you save, so you can invest it into learning, side projects, building a business, reading, listening to podcasts.
Spending time with your family.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then what I would love, and Joni, we've talked about this on podcasts many times, I think a good starting point is first document what you spend your time on a daily basis, right? Yes. So first go get just a piece of sheet and put it in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the amount of hours in a day that you're up, and then write down in detail what you did every day. So you need to see how much time in a week you're spending on these items that we're going to talk about, but then also, how are you going to maximize your time? And then also I would like for you to look at what you get paid for during that time, and then really calculate if you're not just an hourly employee, how much time are you really investing into your work or your business? And then, so if you're an entrepreneur, there's times that you could probably make more going and working a minimum wage job than being an entrepreneur, right? If you look at there's seasons, I think, as an entrepreneur, and there's times, man, you work extra long, way more hours than you need to. And there's other times that your business and everything thrives and you make more money and you don't put a lot of time into it. So it can go both ways, but I'm saying look at really what you make per hour so you can really know, okay, am I better spent working in my business or working on a next project than doing some of the items that we're going to talk about?
Yeah,
because you need to weigh it.
Yeah,
if it's worth
totally. And I do, actually, I'm glad you made that point, because that's actually something that I tell all my clients that are, looking to hire a virtual assistant and they don't know where to start. Same thing, right? So I have them do a 2-week time study of everything that they do in 2 weeks, because you at least need, to be able to see, okay, like, give it 2 weeks to see what else you are doing that you don't recognize, right?
And you'll find things that you can already cut out and maximize. So watching TV, there's some other things that are probably you're wasting your time already. But.
Yeah, and then put them in buckets, like maybe you're 16 and below an hour bucket, and then over that, right? Yeah. So anything in that 16 below that easily can be outsourced to somebody.
Correct. Because time is a finite resource, and you got to maximize it. So if you can find more time in your day to either work more, to study, go back to school, get a higher education that you can advance your career, invest it in your business, grow a side hustle. There's a lot of things that you can do to increase your income right, over time and invest that time. So let's get started. So I think one of the first things we ever did was meal-related tasks. So we spend a lot of time eating, right? Or preparing to eat. And so first of all, like you were talking about groceries, right? So the average family spends about 2 to 8 hours a month on grocery shopping. So right there, driving to the store, shopping, driving back, unloading, having your therapeutic time, as you say. But What are some other options? What do we do?
Yeah, shopping online, right, is what I love to do. Like Sunday is my shopping day, and I'll sit on the couch and watch my Spanish novella that Shawn really loves called Rosario, and I will shop for groceries. And guess what? They get delivered. I get to finish my show, and my groceries are delivered, and kids help me out put it away, and it's done within,
Correct.
I don't know, 20 minutes.
Or you can do curbside pickup if you don't want it delivered and you want to go pick it up, but you could have it already there, already pulled, so you're not going up and down aisles. And a lot of times you're buying stuff you really don't need, like I said, because you're hungry and you just...
That always happens, right?
And
the ice cream that you don't need.
Yeah, correct. So if you're trying to eat healthy and all that, this is a good way too, because you're only getting your necessities and just barely what you need. And then, or you can do prepaid meal kits, like... We've done several of those over the years too, where they come already shipped to you. It's prepackaged, pre-ready to make. A lot of them can be healthy options, and it can be a full family meal, right? That you can have ready to go.
Can't think of the name right now, but yeah, there's a few options out there on the market.
Yeah, or online grocery subscriptions. So like I know Amazon, different places, Whole Foods, a lot of them have a online grocery. So you just have things directly shipped to you. So a lot of times we do a lot of things on Amazon, and if it's a thing that we buy frequently, you can kind of get what's the word I'm looking for? Like a timeline of when you go through certain things, and you can put them on a subscription so that they show up at your door in the morning and it's ready and you're there and you don't have to worry about buying. These are all things that will save you a ton of time.
Absolutely.
And not have to worry about.
And you might go through some trial. Yes, there's some cons to that where you get, the wrong size of stuff. Like one time I bought turkey, lunch meat turkey, and I don't know, I must have messed up the count or whatever, so they bought me one slice of turkey. I'm like, this is not enough, but you get better at it, right?
I think you went overboard the next week.
About
like 2 bags.
About like 2 pounds of turkey.
But and the pros and cons is the cost versus the time savings. So it's going to cost you more, right? All this delivery options, curbside pickup, I don't think costs you anymore. But the grocery delivery, meal kits, all those are usually a little bit more expensive. So, again, we're going back to you're going to spend a little bit more, but look at the time savings you get, and then what are you going to do with that time?
And you can save the frustration, as Shawn mentioned, of going to the grocery store.
Meal planning. So the next segment under meal related is meal planning. So the average family spends about 1 to 2 hours per month on meal planning. So just deciding that we're not even grocery shopping, we're not even cooking, we're just deciding what we're going to eat for the day or the week. That takes a lot of time, and sometimes it's probably more than that, right? Researching and figuring out.
Not anymore. With Chat GPT now, so little hack here. Put in your meal plans in Chat GPT, say, whatever protein you want, and say I want a healthy meal planned out for the week. Yeah. Boom, you get it. And you can, do it different each week. That right there, it saves me time, and then I just buy the groceries that I need for that week.
So something that's really helped us in this is, and you're going to say it's boring, and you're going to see a lot of the similarities. We do a lot of the same things over and over and over again. So, and that's how but again, all these little efficiencies just help us create time in our week to have time to go do what we do and run a couple businesses and have a family and still have time for coaching and each other and everything else. So, we pretty much, a lot of times it'd almost be the same meal on. Now you'll change it up every so often, but it's pretty much the same thing every week. Right?
Yes, for dinners, I try to change it up, but I will tell you, for lunches, what we're getting is broiled chicken and a veggie.
Yeah, and rice.
And rice.
Yeah, just healthy, because we're trying to eat healthy a lot at work.
It sounds boring, but it works for us.
Yeah, so I recommend that, just meal planning services like ChatGPT to get ideas. But then for us, it's just the same thing on a continued basis. You can if you can afford it, you can have a chef occasionally, or you can have. For years, Joni and I had meal prepping service. So one was where it was local. She cooked the meals for the whole week, lunches and dinners, and she would just drop them off every Sunday for the full week. And we just did that on a recurring basis. We've also done ones that have been shipped to us. Factor. I think it's
Factor is what it is. Yep.
is one that we did for a long time. So you can, do those for lunches that just, again, they're more expensive, but in the long run, it saves you a lot of time. You don't need to think about it. It just, you can do low carb or high protein meals and just have them shipped, and that saves you a ton of time. Again, the cons are going to be the flexibility of you pretty much got to eat what was shipped to you for the week or was made for you, and then it's more expensive, right? And then the third segment to this is meal. Oh, I'm getting into it already. Meal prepping or batch cooking. So cooking sessions, proportions, storing. The average family, again, spends about 8 to 12 hours per month cooking. Now, if you love to cook and you love to cook for your family, it's probably something you enjoy. And
Your love language, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to stop this. I think if you enjoy it, I don't enjoy cooking, so I have no desire to cook. But some options are, again, a chef, outsourcing, meal preps that come frozen. There's community kitchen memberships that you can just go and they cook it for you and just pick it up every week. Or what we'll get into is where we're at today is we have somebody in our house that helps us. So it helps with the kids, helps with picking them up, helps cleaning, keeping our house in order, helps with all the laundry, helps with, and then does all our dinners for our family, and then also helps with cooking our lunches and meal prepping for us. So we have somebody full time that does that for us, but I think that's, you get to there. We didn't start that way.
Right.
Anything else on that?
No, I think the meal prep stuff, yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
A lot to unpack there.
So the next one is cleaning and laundry, right?
Which that was one task I had no problem giving up. No problem. Yeah. Who likes to clean toilets?
So again, the cost of deep cleaning, scrubbing toilets, showers, mopping, the average family spends about 4 to 8 hours per month on this, again, on cleaning their homes. And so that's just an easy finding a cleaning service. There's so many out there today. We've had smaller ones. Today we use Molly Mates.
Larger company, but...
Yeah, and they're great service. They come every once a week, and they're awesome. We fully trust them. They have access to our home. They come in and out. Nobody needs to be there.
Yep. They change the sheets. They make the beds. They, deep clean, because our nanny does the, keeping the house up. But the actual deep cleaning, they'll go in there once a week, which is nice and refreshing to come home after a long, hard day, right? And you have a clean house. Yes.
And so again, the cons is the cost versus the time saving. So you got to do the numbers again and make sure it makes sense for you. But in the long run, I'm just trying to show you how you can gain several weeks within a month. And, or within a year. And
what you can do with that time.
Yeah. The next is laundry. So
another task I did not.
Cleaning and drying your clothes. So the average family spends about 2 to 8 hours per month doing laundry. So there's options here. You can do drop-off services, so you just drop it off at a cleaning service, and they do the laundry for you, and then you just pick it up. There's pickup services where they'll come to your home, pick up your dirty laundry, and then they clean it and then bring it back. And then like we do is our nanny does all our laundry every night, every day. And
folds them.
Yes.
Which Shawn hired her for the folding.
She can fold clothes like nobody I know. I don't even know how she does it. And again, the cost savings, it's going to cost you versus the time savings. And you got to just, factor that in and make sure it makes sense for you. The next one is yard service, right? This is something that I don't enjoy either. I know there's a lot of people that love to just be out in their yard, but I think just the regular maintenance, I don't think nobody truly.
We also live on an acre piece of land, so you mowing that yard every 2 weeks or a week,
would be a nightmare.
That would be a nightmare.
So mowing, edging, cleaning the beds, cleaning the bushes and trimming the trees and all that. The average family spends about 4 to 8 hours per month on this task alone. Too.
Unless you love it. I mean, you might get a good workout, as you're mowing the yard.
But hiring a yard service, I mean, we live in Houston. There's a lot of trees.
Dime a dozen. You can get them every corner, really.
And usually they do your neighbors and everybody, and you can usually get them for, anywhere from $30 to $50 an hour, or $50 a session. So, and they're pretty good about, they come weekly during the summer times and usually bi-weekly in the winter. So it really is a true cost savings there. The next is childcare, right? So picking up your kids from school, helping with homework, dropping off kids' appointments, sports, practices, right? There's a million things that go on. So
I'm getting a headache just naming it.
So the average family spends about 40 to 80 hours per month on after school care, or taking
activities
care of
and
homework and dropping off and taking them to sports and doctor's appointments and everything else. So,
which I will say that right there for me was a big savings, because when my nanny is out of town, when she takes her vacation, I literally cannot work. There's no working during that time, right? Because there's so much going on as they get older. They just have way more things to do, and so I felt like an Uber driver. So
Joni and I both work. We both work in our businesses, so we're both active. It's not like one of us doesn't stay home. So, but if that's a choice, then that's your decision. That's not what we decided for our family. And so, anyways, but our nanny does all those things and helps and picks them up from school, so that we can make our meetings in the afternoons and work from the office in the afternoons. She helps them with their homework when they get home, make sure they're fed and have the snacks. She takes them to all their doctor's appointments. They get off of school early or don't have school, she's there to help. And then she takes them to a lot of the sports practice, unless I'm coaching or something like that. But and then the last one I wanted to mention that we don't do a lot of, but it's occasionally we've used it is like an Uber driver or a driver. There's a lot of services now where you can, we spend a lot of time on the road, so you can hire, sometimes it's cheaper to do an Uber, and then that time that you're in an Uber, you can catch up on social media stuff, posting content, a lot of that kind of content. There's also like, if you travel a lot, especially like in the Houston or Texas areas, so like San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Dallas, there's some cool van services. So you could look in this in your city. So if you travel not like maybe a 3 or 4 hour drive, there's van services where they have Wi-Fi. You get a nice comfort seat and you can break out your laptop and work for 3 hours, right? Where typically if you're going to drive that, you couldn't do all that. Or if you're going to fly, it's going to take you about 3 hours if you're flying commercial and having to go and sit in the, so you can just hire a van service to drive you there.
Absolutely.
And then there's, we've done it a couple times, is like, you check for your area. There's like private planes, but we can't afford true private, or we're not going to pay that kind of money. So we're not that big time yet, but the like JSX does, where it's pretty cool, where you can you pull up to the hangar, you park your car, valet, however you want to do it, and then there's really no
check-in, really.
Yeah, it's real quick. It's just in and out, and then you just get onto you can show up like 30 minutes before, get on board the plane. It's a much smaller private plane, shared plane with 10 other people.
Yeah,
I think. And then it was like
awesome experience when we tried it.
And it's not very expensive. It's $200-$300, and so if you don't want to have to sit there and get to the airport an hour before and have to deal with all the stuff that comes with commercial flying, that's another option that's really cost effective. And then now, once you've gained all that time, right? So we've gained back now weeks and weeks, right? During a year. Right. What are you going to do with that time, Joni?
Yeah, so I think, and I want to be practical about this. You're probably thinking, like, that's a lot. Like, I'm going to go, you're not going to go home and, like, outsource every single thing that we just talked about, right? So just pick one. Pick one. I encourage you to pick one. And how to choose that, maybe something that you don't enjoy doing. Maybe that's not your skill set. You don't, maybe you love to cook. Okay, you keep the cooking, but you don't love to clean or do laundry. Maybe you outsource that, right? And then I would encourage you to think about what you can do with that extra time. Okay, so maybe it's having that time back with your family. Maybe it's that time where you can, a thinking day, right? Because that's where all the ideas come into play sometimes, just having that moment of silence where ideas come to you. You can journal, write them down, right? Because sometimes we just don't have time to even think because we have so many of these other things going on. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is find one. Don't find them all. Find one that you can outsource, maybe one that you don't like, and then write down what you will do with that time back.
That'd be great. Yeah. And then just, I think the time savings as taking a day off, thinking, all those are great ideas. The other thing I was going to say was start looking at how can it might be networking. How maybe it's a lot of, I've heard a lot of conversations when I was at the conference of like, I just don't have the I'm running my day, especially for a small business. Like I'm running my business day to day. I don't have time to go network, or I don't have time to take this class to learn which I can increase my income, or another service I can offer. Those are the things that you can look for and use that time wisely, that you just cut out of your day and you don't have to go to. And you can go to a network event, you can go to a college course, or it doesn't have to even be a college course. It can be somewhere that just teaches you social media marketing, so you know how to do social media better.
And there's all these like online courses too that you could take. I mean, every day I'm looking at LinkedIn to see, okay, what webinar is out today, right? What can I, watch today on LinkedIn? There's so much out there that you can spend your time on and learning.
And then if you're in a career and you're looking to, how can I get ahead further, then these are ways you can find that extra time and do side hustles, or find ways you can advance your career and gain that extra learning. So I recommend just, learning new skills, learning how to get higher paying gigs, promotions, and then just measure your progress, right? So how are you improving? How are you using that time? And again, I would jot down every so often, just look at your week and, okay, what am I doing? Am I using the maximum? Absolutely. Am I using my time effectively and efficiently? And
this is a snapshot, guys, of Shawn and I's, what we do daily. And when people ask us, how do you do it all? Well, this is it. This is how we are able to manage it all, right? And again, to your point earlier, it doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. You can't do it all at once. Like, this has been over 20 some years of, adding stuff and making it more efficient, and, and some things are going to work for you that don't work for me, and that's okay.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, and I hope this is, and a lot of what Joni and I do is the same thing over and over, and we're predictable, but it works, because then we don't have to spend a lot of time about thinking about it. So if I could wear a black shirt every day, I would.
You would. If I could eat chicken every day, I would.
So I wear a lot of branded stuff normally. I don't do it on the shows because I don't, but just I like to wear the branded polo shirt of the business, and I could wear that every day. And so just trying to be really efficient, and so you don't have to think about a lot of things. Things are quick. You just wear the same thing every day, and nobody cares. It doesn't matter. So, and that's how you just become more efficient. So, hope that helps. And anything last words?
This is to freeing up some of your time. So go out there, make it happen. One little change, doesn't have to be huge, just one minor change, and do that consistently, guys.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you all listening, and we'll see you all next week.
See you guys.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there. Talking. But Joni and Shawn are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.